Anyway, this is Jonathan Byrer. Did I say it wrong?
Byrer, yeah, that's pretty good.
Byrer, and I just say I love interviewing NFT artists. Like, to me, it's the best time in art since I got out of grad school, and just I'm like to meet people and see what they're doing and help along. Also, I was going to tell you this: you can send me any shorts. YouTube is like seriously promoting videos that are under 20 seconds. So even if you make an advertisement like, "Hi, I'm Jonathan, here's my NFT link," I will put it up on my shorts on my YouTube. I mean, you can put it up on yours too, but I will put any shorts up on mine because YouTube is competing with TikTok now. Because now TikTok is more famous than YouTube. People are watching it more. So they want to promote any short videos that you put up there. Like, I put some videos up on another channel I have. I have another channel, and you get thousands of hits, and you're like, wow, it's amazing.
Perfect. I didn't even know that. I heard of TikTok. I know YouTube had all their other content. I didn't know they were pushing.
Yeah, they are. I heard about it and I started doing it, and it's true. So anyone who wants to send me their NFT, like just a picture, hey, this is my NFT, you can buy it on Foundation. Boom, 15 seconds. If you send me the link, it has to be a MOV or an MP4, so it has to be a video format. And then I'll put it up because I don't edit or anything like that. So you live up there in Maine.
I do.
And tell me how you got into NFTs.
Oh man, that's a good story. That would be this winter, pretty much right after Christmas. A friend of mine who was from Maine, who's really big in the scene, called me up and was like, "Oh, John, I don't know if you ever heard of this." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I heard of it." And he's like, "Oh, he told me the whole scene was kind of going on." And I remember him telling me all this stuff, and I was like, I didn't know what he was talking about. He's like, "Oh, you have to have a drop party, and you got to go on Clubhouse and talk to people and get to know people." So I got a Clubhouse account, got an invite, and got on there and started listening to people. And really, that was my first introduction into what NFTs were and how they're becoming the new future of art and the way to trade art and collect art. And I was just sold instantly, especially when he told me about getting royalties, because for the longest time, an artist, they sell a painting or they, are in the beginning of their career, and later on, it sells for millions of dollars. They don't touch any of that. Maybe unless you're in France where they have, or, Europe where they have some sort of similar laws that help along the artist family. But in America, it's non-existent. So I was sold. I was like, this sounds like the greatest thing ever.
And how did you start minting? What platform did you start minting on?
So I'm on OpenSea. All my stuff's on OpenSea, which recently just kind of became a problem with all the gas fees going up and exploding over the last week. But it seems to have calmed down, and I guess that's normal in crypto. I mean, you would probably know this more because you've been in crypto for a little longer, you'd said.
Yeah, well, I actually minted when I first heard about NFTs, I put some paintings up on Rarible, and I think I paid $1.50 gas fees.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
You have to pay. Do you have to pay every time you mint on OpenSea? I heard like now you can put the paintings up, the work up, but then the buyer pays the gas fee.
Correct. Yeah. So on OpenSea, it's pretty much the platform at the moment for people to. I mean, there's different platforms, but it's it's the largest one at the moment. And what you do is you pay a fee up front to create your listings, and then after that, the buyer pays the gas fees or the transaction fee, and which is really good for someone like me who's just trying to get myself foot in the door, not as an artist but as an NFT artist, which is obviously I don't know if everyone knows listening is two different things. Being an NFT artist and an artist are two different things. Like first day one, I was just on the same playing field with everybody else. Like if you got an iPad that day, or if and I've been doing it for 30 years, we were a level playing field. So
I
it
know.
didn't really matter. And that was one thing that was exciting too, you know,
I
that,
love it. I know. I love it too.
yeah. So I am on OpenSea because they just like their name. It's an OpenSea. Anyone can get in, and it's kind of scary being up there, you know, with, you know, the masses of the, you know, people, but it's an easy platform to navigate. They make it easy for people. They're actually really good at community building. They have people that go on Twitter Spaces and Clubhouse and you know, give feedback, and they're actively looking for artists, you know, to promote and stuff, which is good. And
How long did it take for you to sell your first piece on OpenSea?
oh man, how long did that take? Let's see. Oh man, so I bought some land in Cryptovoxels. Have you heard of Cryptovoxels?
Yeah, but
Metaverse?
I haven't used it. But okay, you got land in Cryptovoxels.
Yeah, so I bought land in Cryptovoxels, and I was on Clubhouse, and I was in a party on Clubhouse where they're all in Cryptovoxels. And it's really easy to get on there. You just type in Cryptovoxels. You don't have to like sign up for nothing or join up. You just kind of you just start, you hit just start play, and you're in the world. You can do it on your telephone, and if you go to my Instagram page or my Twitter page, there's a link there that says Linktree, and you go, oh yeah, there you go.
And also, we're going to have all your links below. And also, everybody smash the likes and put a comment.
Oh yeah, do that.
That will help the algorithm.
But as you're here, it'd be super sweet if you did it. Yeah, go to my Instagram page, and there's a little link tree right
Jonathan,
there. Yeah, Jonathan Byrer, John Byrer Art on Instagram, and I'm the Whateverist on Twitter.
Byrer Art. Oh, that's cute. JOHN.
Just JON because it's Jonathan Byrer. And then on Twitter, I'm the Whateverist, but I'm like all lower caps because there's a couple of them, I guess.
Byrer.
Yeah.
Art.
The last name's the tricky part. So it'd be JON and then it's BY.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, there you are.
Yay. And then once you get to the top, then there's a little link in my bio. And you click the link, and that brings you to my link tree, which takes you to everything that I do. Correct. And then you can pick the one of those, and you click on and one that says Cryptovoxels, and it's the 31 attractive fork, and it's my gallery in the metaverse is called the Darling Butter Knife, which was my wife gave it the name.
Does she like butter knives?
No, I don't know why she wanted to call it that because the building we bought, that's it. Now you're inside my building.
That is so amazing. Oh my God.
Now you see the little plus sign? You can move yourself around with your finger. You can move your view around, and you can go forward and backward with a little plus sign. So when you move your finger, that changes where you're looking. And then the plus sign makes you go sideways.
That's just beautiful.
Yep. And that's my YouTube video for a Pechakucha talk that I did in Waterville. That's on
YouTube.
Yeah, Pechakucha talk. It's like a TED talk, or it's like a TED talk that the library hosts, or the Waterville couple. Yeah, that's one of my NFTs in my metaverse.
Wow, you know, a lot of the reason why I started interviewing NFT artists is because I'm an artist too, and I know crypto, but I'm not really out there with my NFTs because I haven't decided exactly, you know, how I'm going to do this. I mean, I have a few out there, but so I actually wanted to do it to learn all the platforms and all the different stuff and to see people's art. Wow. So is this is that a 3D NFT?
Yeah, that's a 3D NFT. It's called a wearable that you can put on your avatar in the world.
Good Lord. How much does it cost to buy one of these land in the Cryptovoxels?
Oh, that's pretty pricey now. Well, you know how it all works.
Yeah.
The price of Ethereum goes up and down.
Oh, so you have to buy it in Ethereum.
Yeah, and then when they first came out, he was accepting lower prices. So
I know, that's why you get in early. So I wonder how much it costs now. Do you know how much it costs?
Now it's more expensive. I think there's like a floor price.
Like five
The
hundred
floor,
dollars or
no, the floor price is 1.6.
ETH.
Yeah,
So that's like
four
$2,000.
4 or 5 grand. But it was half of that when
Oh, I know, I know.
I don't want to
Well,
admit it on online here, but yeah. So yeah, I paid a
no,
bunch of
it's
money.
fine. Yeah, because then you can resell it, make tons of money.
Well, I mean, I'm not planning on doing that because I
I
bought it.
wouldn't resell it either because it's amazing.
Yeah, and actually, it's like that. Why it's called the Darling Butter Knife is because it's really tall and thin and narrow. It's almost like a little its own little skyscraper.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of like a cute little building. But
It's like
anyway,
a window, this purple thing.
oh yeah,
That's
and
the window.
that's the door outside. You
Oh,
can go
that's the
outside and go in.
outside.
Yeah, you go outside and there's like other people's buildings. It's like a whole little world.
The sky looks like the sky. I wish it was bluer.
And you can fly
Wow.
and you can go all around the whole world. There's other islands. It's super cool. And I got it because I wanted to invest in myself. I wasn't gonna flip it. I wasn't thinking of that at all.
No, because you own the space. I mean, it's like having
Yeah, so it's like
Avenue,
advertising.
Park Avenue loft space. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It's like it's on Vibes Island in Cryptovoxels, and yeah, it is. It's like having your own little. I mean, people from Taiwan were in there having a party the other day. You can have like DJ booths and sell your wearables, and so it's just for me.
I've never actually been in the metaverse at all, any metaverses. So like
Now you have been.
I'll have to do it so I can figure out, can you go to a party? But you can go to the party if you haven't bought the space.
Yeah.
You just can't invite people to your party because you don't have any rooms. Okay.
You can go to the party, but yeah, you can't really host a party unless like you were like, I can host a party for you, or you could find someone to host you a party.
Wow.
But there are all sorts of different metaverses, and now you've been to one.
Yeah, I've heard of some new ones. Like my guru Ivan on tech was talking about one. Like, and whenever he goes, I'm buying something, I'm like, that's a really good idea. Whatever he's doing is always a good idea. It was on one of the newer ones. So yeah, I've never done this, so that's so amazing. So I love your paintings.
Oh yeah.
And let's look at some of your paintings, and then we'll look at some of your digital work or photography, whatever.
Sure. So here I'm gonna hit the share button here,
Share.
and we'll see how this all works. I think this is gonna work. Do you see a?
Yeah, amazing.
Oh, great, perfect. So this would be what I would call puddle painting or marble landscape, and yeah, these are really actually kind of unique, and they actually kind of remind me of the blockchain a lot because the way I make them, you know how like crypto works or like, Bitcoin is like unforgeable. Well, so is this painting. Like, crypto coin is like a chicken McNugget. Someone say a chicken McNugget, like trying to unscramble a chicken McNugget and turn it back into a chicken. Well, that's the same thing with this. You can't undo this, or you can't recreate it. I couldn't recreate it because I made it with thousands of little puddles of paint that I kept pouring over the canvas over and over again until I got this image. And I use no paint brushes, and I use no touching at all. It's just me and a cup that I have, those little party cups, keg parties. Yeah, I got like a whole pile of those, and I just keep mixing paint in there and pouring them out over and over and over again until the canvas is covered in one thick layer of paint. And then it takes weeks to dry, and it looks.
What kind of paint do you use?
Ends up being smooth as glass, enamel oil paint.
Oh, so wow, oil. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's why it takes so long to dry. Oh, and it's as smooth as glass. This is amazing.
Oh yeah, it's got like it's like the finish of a car, and it smells something bad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it really does. They definitely have like an off smell for like a long time. Sitting in my studio, I can smell them all real good right now.
Wow, this is just beautiful. So is this somewhere near where you live?
Yeah, this is just a picture of the Maine coast, but yeah, a bunch of these are from scenes in Maine because that's where I live. Paint what you know. So that's what I just do.
Beautiful. I forgot to tell you, I have a friend in Eastport, and I think she has a gallery, and her name's Amy Ray. Have you ever heard of her? I think she's a very well-known artist.
Oh no, I haven't. But Eastport's like way up the coast. That's like the very end of Maine.
Yeah, yeah, we went to school together. She ended up going home to Eastport, where she's from. Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. No,
Monday,
I've never
exciting.
actually. Oh, I'm sorry. I've never actually been up there.
Oh, all right. Me neither. Well, I might. I've been up near that way, but I haven't been there. So
I've heard it's like super pretty, like
look
amazing.
her up because she started doing. She was drawing. She's very famous for drawing, and she started doing some land. Maine paintings, the ocean, this that, and you might like have a kinship. Of your
Oh
art.
yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I haven't really gotten into get. I haven't accepted any galleries offers yet.
Yeah, maybe wait, because then with the NFTs, you have a chance to have such widespread people knowing who you are, and then you can,
Yeah, I'm
you
not
know,
really. Yeah, I've actually been kind of like hiding out doing this because
uh,
so this is actually a really good opportunity for you because in the art world, once you come up with something new like this, people kind of like want to do it too. So I kind of been hiding out, just like making my own portfolio for like since 2006,
wow,
and just showing my own paintings and selling my own paintings all by myself, doing
wow.
all my own shows and going to art fairs and stuff. And it's pretty funny because I'll go to like a farmer's market, and I'll
Uh-huh.
be in Maine, and they'll have like a little art section, and people will come by and be like blown away. And I usually get a bunch of business cards to give away, but usually
Uh-huh.
I get down at the end when getting low, I'd be like, oh, I gotta ration them, and I would only give them to people that would say wow 3 times. And usually I get the first wow is like, oh wow, that's really cool, and I'd be like, oh cool, and then I tell them how I told you, I'd be like, this is how I make it, and they'd be like, wow, no way, and then they like don't believe me, and I'm like, yeah, for real, and I'm like, go ahead and touch it, feel it, and I'm like, it's smooth as glass, feel free. And that's the part that they always gets them, because most people are like, don't touch it, it's art, but these things are like pretty much bulletproof because they're like such thick layer of paint, and I'm just like, go ahead, touch it, and they touch it and it's like smooth as can be, and they give me a third wow, and I'm like, oh, now you got to take a business card. So yeah, they're definitely unique. This one I actually I sold, and then someone that saw it was interested and contacted me and saw that it had sold, and they wanted me to do a commission. So that was after this one. That was my first commission that I had ever got, which was kind of cool for me because I sold a painting that didn't exist. It was like something that wasn't even there yet. Someone just gave me money for. So that was kind of like impressed my own self with that one.
Yeah, and not only they're unique, but they're really very beautiful. Like your color, your lighting, it's
Oh, thank you.
just beautiful. Like some things are unique, but they're not all beautiful. So
Thank you.
it's great that you're unique and beautiful. So congratulations. Let's see maybe a couple more, and then we'll look at your photos.
Yeah, I'm hopping through here. I'm just, if you,
That's good because
oh yeah, I'm trying to get a good one here. Oh, here we go. This one's
all right, hit the share again.
yeah, let me get back in there. This one's real this one's real Van Gogh-esque, with the stars and stuff, but it's, like I said before, it's real reminiscent of, painting what I know, because this is my house in Jackson. That's the title of this one. My little house in Jackson, Maine here in the woods. And actually, after we get done with this, it'll lead to some of the photos I took. I was just out last night, and there were thousands of stars. And before my wife went to bed, we were sitting out in the little lawn chairs looking at the stars. And one after another, we saw satellites going by, just like, oh, there's one. Basically, every 2 minutes, we saw a satellite go by. So light pollution is a thing, and up here in Maine, it can be real beautiful, and the stars actually look like this.
I know.
And I actually captured it in real life with some of my photos that I'll show you in a little bit. But,
Really amazing. Yeah, I used to live in Maine. I loved it. I loved it.
oh, it's magic. It's something about like slowing down your life and just taking it easy. Everything kind of takes on a different perspective. That's kind of helped me achieve this kind of way of painting, you know, not being all worried about what was going on, what other people were doing, which is kind of funny. When I started hearing about the NFTs, it was like, what? I was just like, where have I been? You know, I need to, here's another good one. I was like, where have I been? I need to get in on this because, you know, I just love photography and stuff. So two of the other NFTs that I sold, were of paintings, and and you mentioned the first NFT I sold. I was in a party at Cryptovoxels, and someone had asked about getting a wearable for their avatar, and he was another artist on Clubhouse, and his name is Where I Draw, and he's actually a really famous artist, and he's doing really good for himself. And his avatar is kind of like two fishes swimming around, and he's wearing like a pink suit, and he's got like a green ukulele. And I was like, oh, I can make you one. And so I hopped off the part after the Cryptovoxel party, and I got on my computer, and my wife had downloaded this thing called Magic Voxel, where you can create these little pixelated wearables. And I made them these little fish that looked like they were swimming around a sphere, which is basically the exact idea what his drawing was. And I just dropped it into his wallet about an hour or two later, and he was so impressed, he went off and bought one of my NFTs. So that was my first NFT I sold, and it was of a painting just like this that I had made.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, this one here is called this is one of the river that I was talking about, the Head of the Tide River in Belfast. We're hopefully going to live soon.
It's lovely. I love the sky. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, so this river would twice a day fills in with the ocean, and this is as far as the ocean comes up the river, and the road is called the Head of the Tide. This little road coming through here.
And then does it like go flat and the water goes away?
Yeah, and then you see the river, and all the birds come in and start walking around and stuff. So you're just like sitting there, and there'll be like an egret walking by, and so it's really, really beautiful spot.
Yeah, I remember when I lived in Maine, like we would go places, and sometimes you would go somewhere and then the tide would come in and you're like, oh my God, we're trapped out in the ocean, we can't get back.
Yes.
Like there's always that moments where you're like just making it back to shore at the very last second.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, those tides are so crazy up there. All right, can I see one more of your paintings? Like I love.
Yeah, I got them right on that here, and
I like the real earthy ones. Like I like the Jackson one. I mean, I love the water too, but
you like that? Well, see, the one I picked was I was going to show you one that's a little more a person.
Oh, a person's cool.
Yeah. This is one of a friend of mine. Her name's Renee Sante, and she's amazing. She is a ceramicist in Abaco, and before she became a ceramicist, her house got wiped out by tropical, hurricane, whatever it was. I can't remember the name right now. But after her house got almost torn apart and she lost power, she decided to become a ceramicist, and she is super amazing. She's like an inspiration to me. She's like selling her work all around the world now. So this is a painting that I made of her, and it's called Rock Star of Living, because she's just like a rock star of
What's her name
being
again?
alive.
I want to look up her work.
Her name is Renee Zante, and I'll have to send you a link because I'm not.
Yeah,
I don't want to spell it wrong.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, she's an amazing person, and just I just wanted to make a painting of her, and yeah, it's really hard to make a painting like this of a person and make it look like them, because I'm not using any paint brushes, and once it hits the paint hits the canvas. It's just, that's the way it is, you know.
Yeah, it's formidable. Like, I don't even know a word for this painting. It's
Yeah,
so,
there is none. And everyone would be like, oh, how, you know, who taught you how to do this? And I'd be like, no one. They're
yeah,
like, do you
it's
teach people?
amazing.
And I'd be like, no, I don't know how. Couldn't even tell you how I did it barely.
It's
But that's
actually, a lot of my work is poured painting too. I do large watercolors. So I paint on the floor. I lay them out on the floor.
oh, cool.
And I've spent a lot of years just looking at paint, like drifting in and out. And the watercolors are really different when it dries. Like, it's very different than when it's wet.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I'm
I
gonna just.
liked it better when it was wet. I mean, I did like it dry too. I also, I worked in clay, and I always like the clay wet. But it's,
Oh yeah.
I can relate to, I know how you're feeling when you're pouring that paint and watching what it does. Like, it's so fun, you know.
Oh yeah. I'm just gonna throw this one up there. Boom. There you are. You can see it. But
Yeah.
and then I'll hop to another one. But
Were you trained like professionally?
in painting, no, I never took a painting class.
Did you take color
Actually
theory?
went to school
I mean,
for.
your color theory is very good.
Oh yeah. So in school, I mean, they teach you. I did go to art school. I went to Maine College Art, and I got a 4-year degree and bachelor degree, and I got in photography. But in film photography, like you know, like with film, like real film. So almost all the new NFTs and stuff that kind of like really made me excited are um the stuff that I've been doing with my camera and doing these like really cool long exposure photographs.
Oh, is that what they are? Yeah, let's see your photos.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to those. Yeah, so that's why it's really I was trying to say to you that like it's hard for me to go to explain what I do to people, because like excuse me, the photos are kind of, I was saying, like is like the new truck in the driveway, but the paintings are like the Lamborghini in the garage, you know, like they're just so amazing. And like you had said, there's a bunch of photographers out there, so it's kind of hard to stand out in doing photography. But I kind of feel like I gotta, you know, jump on because I went to, you know, film school. So what I did is, instead of using a film camera, I got a digital camera. But instead of using it like a digital camera, I use it like a film camera, and I just set it to the basic settings where you can use it, the manual operations, and just use it like a regular film camera. So these are the photos that I've been making. And this one I call Trying to Fit In. And this one is from me going on Clubhouse. And I don't know if you know Clubhouse. It's kind of like Twitter, the Twitter app, where you can kind of go in these rooms and talk to all these amazing artists from all around the world. And I was hearing all these stories of all these amazing artists, and I was, you know, connecting with what they were saying. But it was so hard for me to try to fit in with them, because what I was doing was just like antiquated, but at the same time, like totally unique. So it was like I didn't fit in with anyone. It seemed like it was hard for me to get my voice out there. So that's why I want to thank you, actually, right now, right here and now. Thank you for taking your day, taking time out of your day to interview me, some weirdo from Maine you never met before. You know, we're going on about crypto and NFTs and all sorts of stuff that people haven't caught on to yet, but they will. And this is one of those things that, you know, this is one of those ways that photos can like, you know, you can tell a story. And I don't know if anyone can tell the story here, but this is the title, me trying to fit in.
Say, that's why I love the YouTube, because when I go on you know, Twitter Spaces or Clubhouse, I'm listening to people talk about their art, and then you can click on it and see it. But when I started interviewing people, every single artist that I've ever interviewed is a mind-blowing master artist. Like every single one that I've interviewed so far. It's not just like, well, I'm putting this photo up on, you know, whatever, you know, foundation, whatever. Like, people are very good artists. And when you get like 20, 30 minutes or an hour, however long, to see all their work and hear them talk, like, I'm just blown away. Like, your work, both of your works are amazing, your photos and your painting.
Oh, thank you. So here's another one I'll bring up.
And it makes me feel happy to be an artist, because sometimes you go to galleries and sometimes the stuff that's most selling is not the most inspired art. And you don't even feel that feeling like when you see it, like, oh, wow, this is awesome, but this is really awesome. Like, yeah, I loved
Yeah.
your piece, the fit in piece. That was really beautiful.
Thank you. So this is another one. This is a series that I started. And the other series is on my OpenSea. I have different series, but the last one would be called Night Flower Twinkles, or NFT. And this one is called my Laser of Love series. And so I had life always likes to kick us in the smarts sometimes. And I lost my friend this winter, a really dear friend of mine. And I can't really get into how, but he's not with us anymore. But I had this dream a couple months after he's gone, and he was so proud of himself. And he was sitting there in the dream. It was really weird. He wasn't saying anything. He just had this big smile on his face, and he was holding this giant seed. And it was really hard to say, but it connected me with him still, and it made me, start seeing things in a different way. And this one is called, this series that I did here is kind of like dedicated to him and ideas that came out of, him passing. And this one's called Lasers of Love. And this is a series I did, and this is actually probably the least pricey ones that I have minted. And I have five photos of this version of the photograph, and I have 5 editions of it, and it's 0.05. And
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. And there's an unlockable content that goes along with it. Sometimes all you need is a seed and a dream. And that dream was something that my friend gave to me. I kind of figured out what the dream meant a little later. I don't know if you know what the seed phrase is.
Oh, yeah.
I think I might have figured out what his giant seed was, but I'll have to leave that up to time. Well, maybe time will tell, But yeah, this is one of my photos that I'm really proud of. But after that, I've just literally been going nuts and just been going out every night. And I recently, with the COVID and stuff, I had to go watch my son a bunch more, more than normal. But like I was saying, trying to make art out of stuff, another one that I did is let's see, coming up right here, and this one here is Lost in Time, I think's the name of it. But making stuff out of what is the little dinosaurs on the floor. As your parent, if I don't know if you'll always be stepping on things, and things be tripping you up, like losing your friend right a week before Christmas, or stepping on a little dinosaur in the middle of the night. I was like, oh man, I got to use what I got to use. So this is another one of those nighttime funky treasures, and they're all kind of named after NFTs, nighttime funky treasures. But so this is another long exposure photography thing that I did, and I have this one minted.
Is that light natural, or do you just?
Oh no, everything is. I did all of it. It's yeah.
You mean those dinosaurs weren't really out there?
No, yeah.
I was saying flash a light.
Yeah, exactly. I go with the light, and I go out in the middle of the night in the woods, because I live in Maine, and it's sometimes kind of, and not sometimes, it's scary, because I mean, like if you get lost, like it happened the other night, the flashlight went out, and I had gone off the trail like 20 feet, but I was off the trail 20 feet, and in the middle of the night in the dark, like I was like, my best thing to do is I had to sit down and wait to get the flashlight to go back on. Because if I tried to walk back to the trail, I would have never found my way home. And
yeah, you could go 20 feet in the wrong way and another 20 feet in the wrong way and another 20
exactly.
feet in the wrong
So I'm
way.
basically at the mercy of this flashlight, sitting there trying to get it to work again, take it all apart in the dark, get the battery, roll the batteries. Boom, I get the flashlight. But it was like literally like a good like 5 minutes, like, all right, calm down. But yeah, to make these pictures, I'm going out in the woods and finding little mushrooms in the dark and making, with my little kid toys and my little lights and making these fun pictures. So I don't know. Part of art is fun. And that's sometimes I see people going on and pontificating about all the things they do and why they do them. And I get lost in it, and I feel like people forget sometimes that it's mostly about fun. And that's what I'm trying to put into my art always. There's always got to be a level of some sort of humor or something that, connects us, or I think people have to find that. And sometimes they get lost in talking about stuff too much.
Have you ever like been in the middle of painting and then you do something really funny and just laugh so hard? I do sometimes.
Oh yeah, definitely. I to tell you the truth, when I do those puddle paintings, like it's so intensive, because most paintings, painters, when you make painting, you could step away from it or stop or whatever, but I can't stop. So it's all one day. It takes like one shot.
Because
it's really intensive.
It can't dry. It has to all dry at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. So it's almost I say it's almost like a jazz song that lasts all day. To equate it to that, because you never know what you're going to play, what your next note in this jazz song is going to be, because you're making it up on the spot. So this is the exact same thing. And it's really cool because when they become all frozen together like that, it becomes like the blockchain, like this, no one ever could reproduce it. So even not even me. But this is the one that I took the other night, and I just minted this today. And
this is beautiful. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, I'm really into mushrooms also. I have a very strong relationship with mushrooms.
Right? There's something like magical. I mean, obviously you can eat them and get a magical experience, but just in general, there's something magical about them. I mean,
they are, that the fungi. So I used to actually, be with this medicine man, the Shoshone medicine man, and he would say and now I've read it like in other places, but the fungi, it's like the computer internet of the world, and it's how everything communicates with everything. So like the fungi are like, they're like the intelligence almost.
Yes, this is so true. Yes.
And I actually just yesterday I was looking online. I made some like shiitake cream of mushroom soup, and I did microdose psilocybin for a month just to see what would happen.
Oh, yeah.
It helped me a lot. I had a really serious injury and a traumatic injury. I had a terrible PTSD and stuff.
Oh yeah, it helps that.
Yeah, it
so
did.
Much.
I used to wake up grouchy, and then it went away. So I wasn't waking up grouchy anymore. Like, why did those people, Anyway, I got injured by a human being, and
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it was horrible, but it helped me so much. But not just that mushroom, but now I'm into like all of the mushrooms. And
if I could recommend one for you. If you ever get like sinus or anything like that, it's called chaga.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to get some chaga. It cures cancer, I think. And
I don't know. I have no medical advice associated with it, other than my own experience. But I got the sinus infection, and I drank a cup of it, and you know how like it goes and everything, you can breathe all of a sudden.
Fast? I'm gonna get some. Where did you get it? Did you buy it dried or like?
You can buy it online. I don't think it's very expensive, but I live in Maine, so I just went out in the woods and chopped it off a tree.
Oh, you can find chaga mushrooms out there.
Yeah, they grow on the side of birch trees.
Yeah,
I used to burn them up in the fire every year until someone told me about it. I was like, I didn't know what it was. It's like, in the fire with you, but now I chop them off and just make a.
Well, if I ever go to Maine, I'm gonna bring home a lot of chaga mushrooms because
a
a little pricey, but I mean you can get enough. But
Oh, it's really good for you. It's like the highest antioxidant, full of antioxidant substance that you can take. Like it kills blueberries like down, dead to nuts.
Yeah, I actually was on a website yesterday. I was like, because I actually just sold some paintings, like real life paintings. So I'm waiting for a big check to come.
Congratulations!
I'm waiting for a big check to come in, and to some corporate buyers. And so I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get like this, like 5 pounds of mushrooms, like a pound of this and a pound of that, and just be like, do all the mushrooms I can. I don't know why, I'm just really attracted to it. And I started eating like weeds also out of the yard, out of the park where I live.
Oh yeah, no, there's tons of stuff edible that people don't even think about, like
Now they'll have the
dandelion.
app. I guess ever since they got the app, it's called Picture This.
Uh-huh.
You can just put the app on it, take a picture of it, and it will tell you what it is. So you don't have to do the years of studying to know what's.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, as we were sitting there last night, like I had mentioned about watching the stars, where my wife has a phone, her smartphone, she whips it out. She's like, "Oh, I got the star app." And she's like, "What planet is that?" Because there's really, really bright one. And I was like, "I have no idea." She's like, "Oh, it's Saturn." And as we're sitting there, she's like, "Oh yeah, there goes a satellite." It told me, it said on her phone it was a satellite. And I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And we're still sitting there, and she's got it pointed up. She's like, "Oh wait, this one says it's a rocket booster." I was like, "It says that on the star map phone?" I was like, "Wow, that's really cool." But yeah, I love those cool apps.
I love
you can like
2021,
identify stuff.
especially as an artist. And you know what I really like is that it's like a whole new renaissance of art. Like art just really kind of died out. And I think a lot of the reason it died out because the gallery system was just really broken. Like I've shown in big shows where you would think very prestigious, but I really wasn't making money. And you're like, well, this isn't really sustainable, like I have a few friends that make a good living as artists, but they work night and day. And I'm just like, well, I'm not really up for that, And, they paint all day and then all night they do all of the other stuff. So it's like, it's just not sustainable. But the NFTs, like,
Oh yeah.
from one day to the next, made art lucrative. So now, like, everybody from all over the world is coming out of the woodwork, like yourself.
Oh
And
yeah.
like literally coming out of the woodwork. And then, these artists from all over the world, now there's people are so interested in us, and, people are making more art, and then you have energy. Like I have more energy as an artist right now than I have for so long, because art is communication. And then plus you need money to live. So like,
Oh yeah.
just the whole NFT thing is so awesome.
Oh
So
yeah.
you're on OpenSea. What's your name on OpenSea in case somebody?
It's Jonathan Byrer, and it's all connected. So it's JONATHANBYRER, and I have 3 different series on there, and I haven't minted like too many things, but I have a few on there, and a few series, and a couple of one-on-ones, which I'm still like, oh, someone should get those because it's gonna be the only one, and they're really cool ones. So
Here's the thing that a lot of people I think don't realize, who isn't in crypto, but the chance of Ethereum like quadrupling, in a year, of the price quadrupling in a year is very high. So say if I buy a piece now for 0.1 ETH, let's say 1 ETH because it's an easier number. 1 ETH. I don't know what
right.
today it's like 2,600 or something. I don't know, 3,000, whatever. Let's just say it's
30. I think it's 32.
3,200. So it's highly likely that in a year, 1 ETH is going to be worth $9,000. So when you buy your piece for 1 ETH, the piece is going to be worth that much more,
That is so true, and that's true, and it kind of like it's a positive thing, and it's kind of a negative thing too, because so when I first priced one of my very first pieces, I put like 1 Ethereum on it, and it just sat there, and like I talked to my friend, he's like, you don't have your name out there yet, and this and that, and he kind of he talked me through it a little more, and I was like, you can't. So I had to burn it. I don't know if you know what that is, but you like
Yeah.
Basically just send it off somewhere where it never exists, you know, no one can ever get it. So it was kind of like a mistake that I had to pay for, but I guess that's part of the, you know, learning is making mistakes. And you know, I made that one mistake right off the bat, like thinking, you know, oh, I'll just throw one up there and for one Ethereum, which, you know, at that time was only like you said, like
I put one up for
$2,000.
10, just because that in the very beginning there was like, oh, somebody sold their art for so much money, because there was just everyone was brand new, so I put one up for 10 because like, why not?
Yeah.
And then I haven't put any up since. In just one, I have one piece on OpenSea, which I really like, but as you, like, I have a lot of art and I don't want to just, I haven't figured out, okay, how much am I going to really charge? Like my piece right on there now is 0.1 ETH, but that's why I haven't put it all out there yet, because I haven't decided, okay, how much am I really charging? How am I going to really present myself as an NFT artist as opposed to what I normally do? And but it's fascinating. But I think probably in about a year, the ETH gas fees will have gone away.
Right. That is another problem that I ran into. Like I just the other day was talking to someone in one of the chat rooms, and then they started back channeling me about buying a piece. And I was like, you know, talk to them a little bit. And they're like, well, yeah, I want to support you. Which one can I buy? Which one would you recommend? And I was like, oh, you know, just pick one you like. They're all really good. And I, told them which ones were the lowest prices. And they got back to me and were like, do you have anything on the different platform like Tezos or Polygon? And I was like, no, I don't. I only have it on this one platform right now. And I later went and checked, and you were right. It was like the gas fees were like $200 or something. It was like it spiked out of control. So it was almost more expensive to buy the piece, to have the transaction go through, than it was to buy it. So I wrote back to the guy like 2-3 days later. I DM'd him back and was like, oh, I understand that gases were high. I didn't notice. And he like was like, totally confirmed. He was like, yeah, I don't have enough money to buy something that is going to cost more than the actual work. And I'm like, I understand. So for a week there, yeah, it was like basically everything had froze up. No one was buying anything, but it did just come back down.
What's it down to now?
I don't remember. It was something like it's like there's like some sort of terminology they call it, like GWI or the
way.
Yeah, and I think it's back down to like 80 or 60 or something like that around.
Here's the tip. I did
way up.
I did a lot of crypto investing about a year or more ago on Uniswap.
Yep.
And sometimes the fees were still, back then it was not too high, but it seemed high to me. Back then it was high for that time. So it was like $75 or 50. And sometimes I bought like certain cryptos. I have one that I bought, it was only $46 worth. It's one that anyway, now it's worth like $7,000. So
awesome.
I can't remember which one it is, but one of these that blew up, obviously. I don't know if it was
cool.
Maddie.
Yeah, it really is hard to keep track of all of them.
I have so many. It was one of them. Oh, Unibright. I don't know, one of these ones, but they all blew up actually, except for Snowball. But so I did that.
Did you say you got Bitcoin?
Huh?
Did you buy into Bitcoin?
Of course.
Of course. Good.
No, I have like about 40 coins. I'm very good at crypto, which is why I made my channel.
Nice. Yeah.
Call people, because a lot of people, they might pretend like they're good, but
oh yeah,
really.
That's the one thing I like about Clubhouse. Like if you try to start pretending on something, it's like you can almost like instantly just hear it in someone's voice. I don't know why, but it's
all about the community. Like I wouldn't.
Yeah, people can hear it and they can like filter it out. Like they're like, you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. Like, it's like something in the register of your voice, or I don't know what it is, but people have some serious BS detectors on there. And I've been in there and like had some guy come in and like was trying to sell like a platform or coin. And someone was like, oh yeah, just if you could explain it to us a little better, because I don't really understand. I'm not really big on it. And could you just explain it to, and he knew exactly what he was talking about. He knew everything was, and he just got this guy to like dig himself into this hole. And before you know it, again, the guy's like, you know, blubbering over it. He didn't know what to say because all these questions the guy was asking were really simple questions, you know, and he didn't have a way to get out of the corner, you know, so it was kind of funny to watch.
Yeah, a lot of people, or they lose money. Like a lot of people who do trading. I don't do trading. I just buy stuff and hold on to it.
Yeah, there you go. That's the way.
And from what I've studied, you could trade a lot, but in general, even this one guy's like, Howard made $10 million last year. And then then in the end, he's like, well, if I had just held on to my Ethereum from the year before, it would still be that same
It would
amount.
have been the same, yeah.
So yeah, I have a lot of them that blew up. So, and luckily because gas fees have always been so high, I've never been able to sell them when they're going up really high. And I'm like, well, I'll go sell it. And I'll be like, oh, I don't want to pay that gas fee. So I wait, and then the coin crashes, the whole market crashes.
Right.
And then it goes up higher the next time. So I'm like, oh, I'm glad I didn't sell.
Yeah, exactly. It's good to hold. I mean, unless you're like in some sort of, you need the liquidity, then otherwise it's just, you're just an investment.
Yeah, I made so much money. And I went to go driving DoorDash, like when the market crashed. I'm like, I'm not selling my crypto, even though it was still way up. I have gotten so greedy by then. I don't want to sell at a lower price. I was like, I'm not selling. But DoorDash was terrible.
Hold on to it. Keep holding.
I even buy more. Like I just see people, wasting their money. I'd be like, you should just put that $25 in crypto. You'd probably be rich in 3 years,
Oh, yeah. Well, that was the one thing that I did when I sold one of my first NFTs was I turned around, and you were talking about the community. That's the other thing. It's huge. So I went around and I was just like, oh, I saw something else that I had liked from talking to people, and I went and bought my own NFT right after that. So it was like cyclical, I sold one and then I went and bought one. So I was really excited. And now I own this really amazing NFT from another photographer. And then I actually gave her a wearable, and she minted one and gave me a free NFT. So I was just like blown away by that. And now I'm like, you're my friend, my.
I know, I have more friends just from the last, couple of.
Yeah, months. She's like, I'm like, I don't want me to ever be able to see her or anything, but it's like an online friend, like, hey, you're an amazing photographer that I totally respect. And she just gave me a piece of her art, just dropped it in my wallet one day. My wife was like, oh, come look, we got to, because you can do that. You can just drop stuff in other people's wallets. And, she did that to me, and I just was like so elated by the whole thing. But I'm definitely like, I don't know what to call it, hooked, but I definitely feel that NFTs are a great way for a person to invest in themselves. And I'm just so glad that this technology came around to let people do it. Because like you said, I'm out in the woods.
I bought one NFT like a year and a half ago. I've never even looked at the price. Maybe it's like a hot artist. I just bought one.
What'd you get?
It was like a chain link thing. I don't know. I just saw it. I was just experimenting. Like I love experimenting. So I have to go look at it. It's in a wallet somewhere.
You've seen there's some good ones that have totally popped. You've heard of the Bored Apes.
Yeah.
Because I was on Clubhouse then, and I didn't have any Ethereum yet. And yeah, those all sold out, and I just watched the whole thing. I was like, oh man, these are cool, but I didn't have any money.
I know.
I hadn't bought any Ethereum yet.
I don't have any cash right now, but hopefully that corporate check will come in soon.
Oh yeah.
I think like in a couple of days. So
I always hate waiting for those royalty things.
That's also will be good. So let me ask you this, like, so are you thinking, so I was thinking of, okay, I'm going to put maybe my more, artistic something on OpenSea, but also I did a whole series of cats.
Okay.
Which are really cool, but they're in my iPad. Like, I don't know if you've ever started, but once you start with digital art, like I was up for days just doing cats and like millions of cats and
awesome
eyes, but I haven't really put them out there. Well, I did put them out on Mintable, but then I just, put a couple. I'm like, no, but I guess what's everybody using, like Hikanunk and Calumet, right?
Yep, those are the other two platforms. Yep, and Tezos, the Matic, they just went got really popular when Ethereum, the price of the gas went up.
Oh
Because
yeah, and
they're
I think it's
minting
going
it
to be
so low.
another year. It's going to be another year before the layer 2 rolls out to be able to control
Correct.
gas prices. And I think Ethereum price is just going to keep going up. So, you know, for us to buy each other's work, really, because there's so many artists. I'm like, well, I want to buy one of your works, or you know, and also I want to sell them. You know, not like, you know, my smaller stuff, you know, my cats and whatnot. And so are you going to do that too? Are you going to find another platform?
Um, so I have a hard time just keeping track of the one at this point. So I mean, I would like to, because I have other artwork that would suit that platform fine. And I did just get uh, Procreate for my iPad,
Yeah,
and
yeah, me too.
I made like this is like 3 digital drawings the other day, and yeah, like you said, it's really fun.
Oh my God, I had to like stop. I'm like, oh, I'm just going to sit here and do cats for the rest of my life and like stay in bed and like,
Oh yeah, I was like taking pictures of my eyeball and turned them into flowers, and like,
it's amazing. You're like, wow, this is so much easier than painting, you know, like in real life.
oh
Like,
yeah,
you know, your brushes aren't getting muddy and
no, and you got 100 different kinds, and like, you know, you can paint with light, and I mean like anything. And I was just like, oh, this is really, but a
yeah.
lot of it I don't really understand yet. So I'm still trying to like read up on the manual. So I'm still like getting into it. But I've only done 3 so far. But yeah,
Yeah,
I was like, oh, why not just throw those up on Tezos, or you know what I mean,
well,
like
that's
on
what I
the
want
hippie
to do
stuff.
too. I want to do that as well. Like just stuff that's not so precious to me. Because I was even thinking your paintings, and then I haven't decided like, oh, do I want them to move around? Like, who am I as an NFT artist? Like, I don't feel like an identity as an NFT artist yet. And I'm trying not to rush it because, you know, there's so much money out there, but I don't want to just be like, okay, I got to crank stuff up so I can rake in the dough. You know, as much as I love money, I want to keep like my, you know, just to have something happen that's more organic, you know.
Oh yeah, I hear that. Yeah, I see people like really getting out there and pushing their stuff like a little too much and overselling, and it's hard not to, because you know you want to, you know, it's like anything. Once you make that first sale, you're like, oh man, I'm hooked.
No.
I want to do it again. I want to do it again. But yeah, it can be counterintuitive to just flood the market with stuff. So I've been feeling the same way. I'm like super excited about all this new work I've made, and I really want to show everyone. But then at the same time, I'm like, I have to keep you know, a wrap on it. I don't want to just like start going crazy. But
Yeah. Or put all of your paintings out there, you know, before, like that's how I feel. That is so beautiful. Wow.
oh god, that's the one I took the other night. Yeah.
Gosh.
Um, yeah, and this is another example. Like this is unminted. I took it, and I'm just sitting on it at the moment, because you know I don't want to just blow myself up before I even got out there, get my name out there really. But I do want to have like an opening, what do they call it? A drop party on Clubhouse or Twitter coming up here soon. And I'm going to try to like invite a bunch of friends off Clubhouse or off Twitter, and
Oh, that'll
try
be
to
fun.
have them
What are
come
you,
along and have it, and then maybe have like a party in Cryptovoxels at the same time, where
wow.
people can like
That's so
join in and
fun.
on their laptops and their phones or whatever. So that's what I'm kind of hoping to do soon, but
Wow,
I'm
that sounds
still
amazing.
trying to get the,
What are your favorite clubhouse rooms?
oh my god, that's the one thing about Clubhouse. It's like once you get in there, it's almost like a rabbit, you know, going down the Alice in Wonder rabbit hole. I mean, anything NFT, if you're interested in NFTs, you know, they have like hundreds of NFT rooms. But one of my favorite rooms, and actually I'm a moderator in this room, is a room called Trees Have Feelings.
Oh, nice.
And it's the sharing trees, and the sharing something of telling stories of the, oh man, I'm messing it up. But anyway, it's just this little cute room that this woman Tracy started, Tracy Mauser, and she's a artist in Washington, and it's just like it's like it beats the algorithm in Clubhouse, because no one really knows. It's not like about anything other than trees, and like art, telling stories. So it's like this tiny little room, and it's just super quaint, and like everyone that comes in there is just so giving and has this like amazing story to tell about trees. So that's like my favorite room, and she does it twice a month.
I have a film. I have a whole film that's just about a tree, one tree.
Just one tree? Oh,
yeah,
cool.
I have a whole bunch of footage. I got to get out the other, because I'm like, I got to get that other footage out.
See, you would see the room and you would stop in then and tell us about your film.
Yeah.
We
See,
would all
I like the only one that I really go to all the time is Space for Introverts on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
That's probably where I do, right? Because that's usually like mostly where I like to go.
Isn't that the Nifty Sachs that runs that?
Yeah, I have an interview with him on my channel.
Oh, good. Tell him I said hello. I don't think he really knows me, but tell him I love he's such a sweet, he's got such a sweet voice.
If you look at his the video that I made of him, it's about 30 minutes long. Like, he's very interesting, and he tells the process of how he made his work and all his drops, and
I'm gonna check it out for sure.
He's really amazing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've been in his room. I don't think I maybe I've got up to talk once or twice, but I'm not really sure. I know I listen in for sure.
Yeah, I don't know how I saw your paintings, maybe from there.
I think you had mentioned that you do interviews, and I was like, hey, check me out.
Okay, that's cool. Because
I don't even think I was a speaker. I think I just back channeled you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I just remember seeing your artwork and going, wow, really good. And
oh, cool. Thanks. Yeah, I like I said, Clubhouse, Twitter Spaces, just being able to go on there and connect with people like you has just been amazing for me, because where I live, it's so rural. I mean,
I know, not anymore. Now you're like, well, I live in Washington, D.C., but it's almost
I'm worldwide now, right?
Washington, D.C. is almost the same way, because here is not like an artistic, creative place. Like,
right.
Yeah, just a real freaky person here, when I start talking about art or something.
No, you're right. DC has got its own culture, and it's not surrounding art.
I didn't hardly have any art friends at all, like none.
The big P, politics.
I used to like it for the same reason you like Maine. It's like, you know what, I can do my work here, because I lived in New York City for a while. I was like, I can do my work here. Nobody cares at all, so I just do whatever I want. I'm not influenced or competing. I'm just like making my own process and my own work. Like, I used to kind of like it, but then I got a little lonely, so this is awesome.
DC, like, you like DC then?
Yeah, it's fine. I'm going to turn the recording off.